Good afternoon, my name is Bella, and today I'll be presenting the topic called Playwright. So, what's Playwright? A playwright is a person who writes plays. It's a way to perform for an audience in order to perform a story. Playwriting is another way to develop what the imagination can create and to communicate that visions to others. So, what are types of plays? So we know playwright writes plays, but what type of genre or what type of category do they write within their plays? So first, comedy. Comedy is the art of entertaining an audience by making them laugh with humorous jokes. In ancient Greece and Rome, a comedy was a theatrical drama with a cheery ending. During the Middle Ages, the term began to be used to characterize narrative poems with uplifting conclusions and lighthearted themes. Now, in the other side of the spectrum, we have tragedies. Tragedies are thought-provoking and dignified representations of significant subjects like death, tragedy, and human suffering. Tragedies are based on darker themes, tragic character faults that ultimately lead to their demise, which prevents happy endings for characters in tragedies, such as Shakespeare's Hamlet. Another type of play is melodramas. Melodramas are a type of heightened drama that plays one-dimensional heroes, heroines, and villains in dramatic situations that are exciting, emotional, and frequently perilous. Example, The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. Finally, we have historical plays. So a historical play is a dramatic story in which characters and events that occur are heavily and entirely based on real-life historical events and individuals. So next, famous playwrights. There are a few famous playwrights that you probably heard, they're very iconic. So names such as William Shakespeare, Samuel Beckett, Anton Chekhov, Tennessee Williams, Eugene O'Neill, Oscar Wilde, and Arthur Miller. On the top left, it's William Shakespeare. He's known for making plays such as Hamlet, Macbeth, and Romeo and Juliet. On the top right, it's Anton Chekhov, who created the play The Cherry Orchard, The Seagull, and Uncle Vanya. On the bottom left is Arthur Miller, who created All My Sons, Death of a Salesman, and A View from a Bridge. And lastly, Tennessee Williams, who wrote and playwrighted A Streetcar Named Desire, Cat on a Tin Roof, and Clothes for Summer Hotel. Okay, so you may ask, what are the duties of a playwright? So, they establish contracts with theater industry professionals like producers, directors, actors, and others to ensure that their screenplay is played as intended. They also aid viewers in comprehending the play's purpose. They write speeches and stage instructions. P.S. The playwright must employ dramatic language and action in order to establish the play's ideas and characters. To continue, there are some musts, such as playwright skills. So playwrights need to have the ability to be creative, they have to have the ability to collaborate, and they have to have the ability to create good research for their play. So, to go in details, when I mean by creativity, I mean that the playwright needs to use his imagination to come up with play concepts. A playwright works to develop a play story and characters. They might use their imagination to create a compelling plot that will hold people's attention. Next, collaborative. So collaborative work is very important if they work all together. Playwrights can work together on a final project with directors, actors, and designers. Writers frequently work with one another to create new plays. By working together with others, they can use their skills at collaboration to create a wonderful play. And then, research. Playwrights must research a range of topics for their plays. They do background study on their time period, setting, and characters to make sure that their play is accurate. To find out what interests and what's relevant to them, they also perform audience research. This research helps playwrights create captivating and enjoyable stories. Okay, so the next topic I wanted to talk about is the qualities of a fine play. So, one of these criteria is the credibility. For a setting to be credible, the audience demands that its action seems to flow naturally from its people, its surroundings, and the dramatic concepts the playwright presents. The flow of being a natural being in a theatrical context requires characters to be true to themselves. The credibility quote-unquote agreement between the author and the audience, which asserts that the audience will believe the characters as real individuals as long as the author agrees not to share the same view in order to promote other purposes. So in my opinion, credibility is very important since it allows the audience to take a play to be taken seriously. Next, intrigue. So intrigue is another quality that makes fine play very beautiful. So intrigue is an eager anticipation in what will happen next, like a suspense moment. While the intrigue has brought us to the play, credibility kept us there. For the play to surpass any expectations, credibility and intrigue must be integrated successfully. Now, moving next. The playwright process. The playwright process is very important because it shows you in detail how the playwright organizes him or herself to create the play. So first, dialogue. Dialogue helps the audience in developing a sense of familiarity or trust for the characters. It can also help in character development by witnessing them say things they don't mean and the social, cultural, or power imbalances between characters at play. Conflict. In a play, conflict serves to draw attention to the main problem in the narrative. The conflict typically acts as the primary driving force behind the plot. It grows, it reaches its climax, and then it's resolved. The conflict can take a variety of forms depending on the story. It frequently serves as an inspiration for the story, plot, and characters. Conflict in a story is very much necessary to keep readers' attention because it reveals the characters' motivations and the results of their choice. And then finally, structure. Structure shows how a playwright divides a story into pieces, then connects and concludes each component to reach the eagerly expected finale. Additionally, it serves as a good example of how a story can be organized around a theme. In conclusion, a playwright is an envisioner and writer for plays. I hope you loved my presentation about Playwright. Thank you, and have a nice day.